Nursing is a calling. It's a profession rooted in empathy, dedication, and a deep desire to care for others. Nurses are the backbone of the healthcare system, working tirelessly to provide comfort, healing, and hope to patients and their families. Yet beneath the surface of this noble profession lies a growing crisis: nurse burnout. The unrelenting demands of long hours, emotional strain, and staffing shortages have created an unsustainable burden on nurses, pushing them to the brink of exhaustion and jeopardizing their own well-being. The statistics paint a grim picture. Studies reveal alarming rates of burnout among nurses, with many experiencing symptoms of emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and a reduced sense of personal accomplishment. This crisis has far-reaching consequences, impacting not only the nurses themselves, but also the quality of patient care. When nurses are stretched thin and running on empty, their ability to provide safe and effective care is compromised, potentially leading to medical errors and a decline in patient satisfaction. The issue of nurse burnout is not new, but it has reached a critical point. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated existing problems, exposing the fragility of the healthcare system and the immense pressure placed upon nurses. As the pandemic raged, nurses found themselves on the front lines, facing unprecedented challenges, overwhelming workloads, and a constant fear of exposure to the virus. The pandemic served as a stark reminder of the vital role nurses play in our society and the urgent need to address the factors contributing to burnout. It is imperative that we prioritize the well-being of our nurses. They deserve our support, respect, and a commitment to creating work environments that foster their physical, emotional, and mental health. Addressing nurse burnout requires a multifaceted approach, involving individual nurses, hospital administrations, and policymakers working together to implement meaningful solutions. By investing in the well-being of our nurses, we are ultimately investing in the health of our communities. Nurses are no strangers to long shifts. The demanding nature of the profession often requires working extended hours, including evenings, nights, and weekends. While some degree of flexibility is inherent in healthcare, the cumulative effect of prolonged shifts and overtime takes a significant toll on nurses' physical and mental health. The human body is not designed for continuous exertion without adequate rest and recovery. When nurses are forced to work long hours without sufficient breaks, their bodies begin to rebel. Sleep deprivation sets in, impairing cognitive function, decision-making, and reaction time. Musculoskeletal problems such as back pain, neck pain, and carpal tunnel syndrome become increasingly common, the result of repetitive motions, lifting heavy patients, and standing for extended periods. The mental and emotional strain of long hours is equally damaging. Nurses are constantly exposed to human suffering, grief, and loss. They witness the fragility of life and the emotional toll illness takes on patients and their families. While nurses are trained to compartmentalize and maintain professional boundaries, the emotional labor of caring for others can be emotionally draining. Over time, this can lead to compassion fatigue, a state of emotional and physical exhaustion marked by feelings of cynicism, detachment, and a diminished capacity for empathy. The long hours and demanding schedules also take a toll on nurses' personal lives. It becomes challenging to maintain relationships, pursue hobbies, or simply find time for relaxation and self-care. The constant pressure to be available for work can create feelings of guilt and resentment, leading to conflicts at home and a sense of being pulled in too many directions. If a nurse is working overtime, it can cause a lack of work-life balance, which can leave nurses feeling depleted, dissatisfied, and questioning their career choice. The impact of nurse burnout extends far beyond the hospital walls. When nurses are overworked, stressed, and emotionally drained, the effects spill over into their personal lives, impacting their relationships, their families, and their overall well-being. For nurses who are parents, the challenges of balancing work and family life are particularly acute. Long hours and unpredictable schedules can make it difficult to attend school events, participate in extracurricular activities, or simply enjoy quality time with children. The guilt and stress of missing out on important family milestones can weigh heavily on nurses, creating tension and strain within the family unit. Nurses may find it challenging to switch off from work mode, bringing the stress and emotional baggage of the day home with them. This can lead to communication breakdowns, arguments, and a sense of disconnect within the relationship. The lack of work-life balance can also impact nurses' physical and mental health. Insufficient sleep, poor diet, and lack of exercise can weaken the immune system, making nurses more susceptible to illness. Chronic stress can contribute to a range of health problems including heart disease, high blood pressure, and depression. When nurses are not taking care of themselves, they are less equipped to care for others, creating a vicious cycle that can be difficult to break. While nurses bear the brunt of burnout, it's crucial to acknowledge the systemic issues within hospitals that contribute to this crisis. Understaffing and unsafe nurse-to-patient ratios are a chronic problem in many healthcare facilities. It places immense pressure on existing nurses, forcing them to take on heavier workloads and work longer hours to compensate for the shortage. This creates a vicious cycle, where overworked nurses are more likely to experience burnout, leading to higher turnover rates, and further exacerbating staffing shortages. Inadequate resources also play a significant role. Nurses often find themselves stretched thin, lacking the necessary support staff, equipment, and supplies to provide optimal patient care. This can lead to feelings of frustration, helplessness, and moral distress, as nurses are forced to compromise their standards of care due to factors beyond their control. Furthermore, a lack of recognition and support from hospital administration can contribute to feelings of devaluation and disrespect. Nurses are often on the receiving end of patient frustration and complaints, yet their contributions and sacrifices are often overlooked or minimized. This lack of appreciation can erode morale and create a sense of disillusionment among nursing staff. Hospitals need to prioritize creating a culture of support and well-being for nurses. This includes addressing staffing shortages, mandating safe nurse-to-patient ratios, and providing adequate resources, and fostering a positive, supportive work environment that values nurses' contributions and prioritizes their well-being. By investing in nurses, hospitals are ultimately investing in the quality of patient care and the long-term sustainability of the healthcare system. Reclaiming your time, the power of no, and the option of part-time work. In the face of such systemic challenges, it's easy for nurses to feel powerless. However, there are steps nurses can take to reclaim their time, prioritize their well-being, and advocate for more sustainable working conditions. One of the most empowering things a nurse can do is learn to say no to extra shifts and overtime requests. While it's natural to want to help and be a team player, constantly sacrificing personal time for work is a recipe for burnout. It's essential to set boundaries and prioritize personal well-being. This means being selective about taking on extra shifts and not being afraid to decline requests that would compromise personal time or lead to excessive overtime. Another option worth considering is part-time work. While it may not be feasible for everyone, reducing work hours can provide a much-needed respite from the demands of full-time nursing. Part-time work allows for greater flexibility, offering more time for family, hobbies, and self-care. It can also serve as a stepping stone, allowing nurses to explore other interests or pursue further education without completely leaving the profession. Of course, opting for part-time work may come with financial implications. However, it's essential to weigh the costs and benefits holistically. Is the financial strain of full-time work worth the toll it's taking on your health, your relationships, and your overall well-being? Sometimes, making a change, even a seemingly small one, can have a profound impact on one's quality of life. Fostering a culture of support, hospital-wide solutions for a healthier workplace. Creating a work environment that supports nurses and prevents burnout requires a multi-pronged approach involving both individual responsibility and systemic change. Hospitals must take an active role in fostering a culture of support, recognizing that investing in the well-being of their nursing staff is not only ethically sound, but also fiscally responsible. Addressing staffing shortages is paramount. Hospitals should prioritize recruiting and retaining qualified nurses by offering competitive salaries, comprehensive benefits packages, safe staffing nurse-to-patient ratios, and opportunities for professional development. Adequate staffing levels ensure that nurses are not overburdened, allowing them to provide safe and effective care without sacrificing their own well-being. Providing nurses with the resources they need to do their jobs effectively is equally crucial. This includes access to adequate supplies, equipment, and support staff. When nurses feel supported and empowered to provide high-quality care, their job satisfaction increases and the risk of burnout decreases. Creating a culture of recognition and appreciation is also essential. Hospital administration should make a concerted effort to acknowledge and reward nurses for their hard work, dedication, and compassion. This can be as simple as expressing gratitude, providing opportunities for professional development, or offering tangible rewards for outstanding performance. Furthermore, hospitals should implement policies that promote work-life balance and prioritize nurses' mental health. This includes offering flexible scheduling options, generous paid time off, and access to employee assistance programs that provide confidential counseling and support services. You are your own best advocate, prioritizing self-care and setting boundaries. While systemic change is essential, nurses must also take ownership of their well-being and prioritize self-care. This means making time for activities that bring joy, reduce stress, and recharge their batteries. Whether it's spending time in nature, exercising, pursuing a hobby, connecting with loved ones, or simply indulging in a good book, self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity for maintaining physical, emotional, and mental health. Setting boundaries is equally crucial. Nurses are natural caregivers, often putting the needs of others before their own. However, it's essential to establish healthy boundaries between work life and personal life. This means learning to say no to extra shifts, setting limits on work-related calls and emails outside of work hours, and prioritizing personal time without guilt or apology. It's also important for nurses to cultivate a support system both inside and outside of work. Connecting with colleagues who understand the unique challenges of the profession can provide a sense of camaraderie and a safe space to vent frustrations and share coping strategies. Seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor can provide tools and strategies for managing stress, coping with compassion fatigue, and improving overall well-being. Remember, self-care is not selfish, it's essential. When nurses prioritize their own well-being, they are better equipped to care for their patients, their families, and themselves. Taking back control, a call to action for nurses everywhere. The issue of nurse burnout is not just a personal struggle, it's a systemic problem that requires collective action. Nurses, hospital administrators, policymakers, and the public all have a role to play in creating a healthcare system that values, supports, and protects the well-being of these essential healthcare professionals. This is a call to action for nurses everywhere to reclaim their power, advocate for their needs, and prioritize their well-being. Share this video and make it viral. Stand up for nurses and patients. You are not alone in this fight. There are countless others who understand your struggles, support your efforts, and are working tirelessly to create a better future for the nursing profession. Don't be afraid to speak up, to voice your concerns, and to demand better working conditions. Advocate for safe staffing levels, adequate resources, and policies that promote work-life balance. Support organizations and initiatives that champion nurses' rights and well-being. By uniting our voices and working together, we can create meaningful change and build a healthcare system that values and supports the vital contributions of nurses for their patients. Remember, your well-being matters. Your health, your happiness, and your ability to provide compassionate care depend on it. Take care of yourselves, support one another, and never stop fighting for the recognition, respect, and support you deserve. Unions were made for a reason to make sure there are safe working conditions for their employees. Most teachers have unions. Why don't most nurses working at hospitals and skilled nursing rehab facilities have unions? Finding support and resources. You are not alone. Navigating the challenges of nursing and finding work-life balance can feel isolating, but there are resources available to provide support, guidance, and a sense of community. Here are some organizations and initiatives dedicated to supporting nurses' well-being. The American Nurses Association, ANA, offers a wealth of resources on workplace safety, healthy work environments, and advocating for nurses' rights. National Nurses United, NNU, as the largest union and professional association of registered nurses in the United States, advocates for safe staffing levels, fair wages, and improved working conditions for nurses. The American Association of Critical Care Nurses, AACN, provides resources and support specifically for nurses working in critical care settings, addressing the unique challenges and stressors of this demanding specialty. Healthy Nurse, Healthy Nation, an ANA initiative, focuses on promoting the health and well-being of nurses through resources on stress management, healthy eating, physical activity, and more. Many hospitals and healthcare organizations offer peer support programs where nurses can connect with colleagues who understand their experiences and provide confidential support and encouragement. Don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need it. Whether you're struggling with burnout, seeking advice on setting boundaries, or simply need someone to talk to, there are resources available to support you. Remember, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. By prioritizing your well-being and seeking support when needed, you can thrive in your nursing career and continue to make a difference in the lives of your patients.